Hello. Welcome back to the Lorethrough. Today is episode 45, and we're going to be continuing with the Cliffbottom Catacombs. Let's get to it. So we get in here, and we see cubbies in the walls, candles, bones, cobwebs. You know, your usual dungeon stuff. Candle stands pushed aside. I assume that message was telling us to look this way on the thing, but oh well. Oh, yep, that was probably it. So we're gonna send the elevator up. I feel like I've had way too many invasions in this exact catacomb. And we always look under, 'cause sometimes there's stuff under the elevators. Ooh, I was looking the wrong way. Oh, excellent. That one just jumped off the cliff. And the twin spear attack pattern. I don't like the twin spears. I think that it looks goofy as heck. It's very good, unfortunately. It does good damage. It eats up a lot of stamina, right? When you're in combat, it eats up stamina, I should say. It hits very hard, though. It has thrusting damage most of the time, depending on the set of twin spears you're using. There's not really much of a reason not to use it. And he has a forked greatsword. Okay. More glovewort. And here we have an interesting dungeon. So there's the statue to open the boss room, right? But we have to go down these stairs. And down below even farther, there's an omen. He's hard to see, though, and he has the warped axe, which I will look at after we kill him. But we'll go down to him later, since we're not supposed to be quite that attentive. We're supposed to go through this area and get a little lost and confused. Twin Spears gives you range, gives you damage because you're using two. It gives you stumble that you may not have on a solo spear, which kind of makes me feel bad. Yeah, we were able to get him midair. No problems. Oh, I think we have an omen over here. Maybe this guy has a warped axe. But we're going to buff our weapon. And we're going to hit him with an ice spear. There we go. Yeah, he had a warped axe, so we can take a look at it. Oversized double-headed axe with a bizarre, almost melted appearance. Brute strength is the only thing required to wield this weapon, which appears to have taken quite the beating itself. Kind of an interesting description, to say the least. I should show this off. There's the slam. The grand slam. That's the nice thing about ice spears, it works as a projectile. Dang. Omen are hard to stumble. I usually have the easiest time stumbling them with two lances, not two spears. Great lances are bigger, for one. We have some imps over here causing problems. Oh, missed. There we go. Switch this over to that for now while we do some chit-chatting. We have an imp statue that we can use a stone sword key in, and I believe we have plenty. Because I've been collecting them all and rarely using them. Yeah, we have like 8, so that's plenty. Oh. Any others? Nope. Glintstone Firefly. Interesting drop. Okay. So here we, interestingly enough, have a charred body, and it has on it the Nox Mirror Helm. All right, let's take a look at the Nox Mirror Helm. So the Nox Mirror Helm is a helm fashioned from crystal-looking glass, one among the Eternal City's ritual implements, easily broken and weak against striking attacks. Worn by those committed to high treason, it wards off the intervention of the Greater Will and its vassal fingers. So it says it's weak against strike attacks, And it seems that it's just its physical defense against strike is a little worse. I don't think it actually makes you weaker to it. But here it is. Hideous looking thing. But it is essentially this game's equivalent of a tinfoil hat. It wards off the effects of the intervention of the greater will and its vassal fingers. So the vassal fingers serve the greater will. And in the opening cinematic of the game, we are told about how we are abandoned by the greater will. And the greater will seems to be the actual head honcho who gets to tell Queen Marika what to do. So we can put that back there. I feel like there's an imp in here. There he is. I should be using Starlight. Throw a knife at him for giggle's sake. Then we'll hit him with one of these bad boys. Oh, hello. A little bit of spacing goes a long way. Thought I heard another thump. Another thump in the night. Oh, and here we find ourselves up above, but too high, actually. Keep looking around for imps since they like to sneak up on you. Yeah, like that one. There we go. There we go. That forked hatchet. And good old Carrion Slicer. I don't think we have any more imps in here, but here we find the scythe. Oh, shucks, I say that right as an imp happens. But the slicer comes out fast, so very good. Okay. So we came up here, and there was nothing for us except for that nice, tasty scythe. I'll take a look at it. So, scythe has its own unique attack pattern. I don't think we found... Well, we found the Grave Scythe. Did I put the Grave Scythe on this character? I did. So the Grave Scythe has a different heavy. It has just this big elongated heavy. Horizontal sweeps. While the Scythe has this double slash. And actually, the Loretta slash, which is the Ash of War you saw me have on the Knight Rider glaive, this... If you were to put that on the scythe and you hit another player with this fully... I don't even know if you have to fully charge it, but you have to charge it enough that it hits twice. Yeah. So... Because if you just tap it, it's a 1. Yeah, you want to hit them with the double hit, basically, and then you go straight into the Loretta slash. On a lot of people, I think it's a 4-hit true combo. Though that's hard to hit. That sounds difficult to set up. Not an easy true combo if it really is a true combo. But down here we have another omen. And we're gonna buff this weapon. Because if we buff this weapon and then two-hand it, because we've made it heavy, it has 427. And we can backstab this one. And a spinning slash, and he is done. I'm not a big fan of hand axes in this game. Of all of the hand axes, the Stormhawk axe and probably this axe are my favorites. We actually got behind him while he turned around so he didn't see us. Oh, a little late on that one. And we get the prattling pate that says wonderful. I wonder if that counts as a character voice, actually, since I boosted the in-game volume for character voices. Which one was it? Okay, we got the wonderful. That's funny. That's silly. That was really quiet. It is still fairly quiet to me. I feel like the carvings that existed in Dark Souls, the ones where you drop on the ground, they say a little line instead of you blowing into them, that they were a little more distinct. They also had a very silly voice, so. Alright, so this is a corner where there's an omen that comes around the corner. He's already wounded. But you can kind of freely hit him with this trap. And omen have poor vision. So in dark places, they have a hard time seeing you. And if you're crouching and not cracking stuff in the environment like that, then there's bones. You can just walk over like that. That counts as making noise in this game. For the NPCs to hear, actually. So you want to be careful where you're stepping if you want to be stealthy. But yeah, the omen have poor eyesight, and you can really use that to your advantage. There's not too many situations where you have a chance to blindside an omen. Alright, let's hit him with the Carrion Piercer. Why not? Oh man, Spinning Slash is so good. Though I've seen some people recommend putting Sword Dance actually on the Warp Decks, which seems odd to me. I feel like Spinning Slash belongs on a Scythe for shield breaks. That's probably just a holdover from Dark Souls 3 using Sword Dance on the Follower Saber to break people's guard. Okay, so we can finally pull this down. And we go straight, because when we entered this room, we noted that we looked down past the crank. So we want to head this way. We have 3 flasks. I might rest the Grace. Yeah, we'll rest the Grace. Get all our flasks back. Why not? Be good little cautious adventures. Actually, there's an elevator. We'll just wing it. We got this. We have nothing to fear. We'll make it work. I don't have a whole lot of mana, though. Heh, screw it. I'll drink the flask. I'll drink the flask. This is a burial watchdog. Oh no, I have no mana. Well, we'll deal with it. That was a horrible idea. It does good damage, though. As long as our good friend Lutel over there isn't being too much of a coward. Oh, I thought I had a moment. I was mistaken. And this might be enough to finish it off. There we go. Thanks, Lutel. And we get the kind sellsword ashes. So we have the 2 kinds of ashes to look at. So the page. Spirit of a page who traveled at the side of the noble he served uses a piercing sword and crossbow to defend his master. One becomes a page merely by accident of being born into obscurity. Nothing is asked of ability, talent, or volition. Spirit of a mercenary belonging to a horse-riding folk skillfully uses a massive blade for the dismounting of other riders, and enhances his already considerable strength with war cries. The sellswords of Kaiden made their prowess known on countless battlefields, and sure enough, they're tough, annoying to fight. As an Ash, kinda mediocre. Feels like big enemies can stumble them just as easily as they can stumble us, so why not return to the entrance? Okay, I think we're making good progress. I feel like we're making good progress. In fact, we only have a little bit more left of this eastern edge, and then we will have the central lake, actually. So that's exciting. Oh boy, well, we have a lot to do there. Alright, well, let's get to it. We still have time left in this episode. Maybe we can finish if we go fast. I don't remember a lot in Ways of Lore. We're passing by the Sword Monument again, where Melania, the Blade of Mikola, so it seems that this demigod is, for some reason, working under and on behalf of another demigod. So they are allied, it seems. And Melania, the demigod that the Stone Monument is about, has a cadre or a contingent of knights called the Clean Rot Knights. Just passing by these Kaku soldiers. Who cares about them, right? Who cares about them? Oh, I forgot to read the Two-Finger Heirloom. Talisman engraved with the legend of the two fingers. Raises faith. Fingers cannot speak, yet these were eloquent. Persistently did they wriggle, spelling out mysteries in the air. Thus did we gain the words of our faith. And so we learn a little bit about how the two fingers speak. It's slight motions in the airs with their fingers. They're the tips of their fingers, I should say. Their motions were a precise calculus that to them is speech. Almost like visualizing in the air as if they were reading Braille or something. It's very odd. But the finger readers, like Enya, can apparently read it just by looking at the very slight motions. And it's eloquent. Which is crazy to think about. Here we have a troll and a bunch of dead Kaku Knights. We will try to deal with this troll. I should probably be using a bigger weapon for this. See, he's angry. He yells at us. First thing he does. There we go. And that's a nice attack we can get in there before our critical hit. There we go. And here we have a carriage. On the other side of this broken bridge is where we met one of our first finger readers, all the way over there. We can't even see her. Her model isn't loaded in. And down there we got Stormwall, which is the parry we used against Margit. Their names are so darn similar. Margit, the Fell. The Omen. Tree Spear. Alright. Let's take a look at this. Golden spear with a tree-like design, wielded by knights employed as palace guards in the royal capital of Leyndell. Deals holy damage. Requiring superior dexterity to wield, this great spear can perform consecutive thrust attacks despite its larger size. And sure enough, this is one of those weapons I was talking about where it has a dex requirement. It's a dexterity weapon, so good for dexterity builds, but it has a small faith requirement of 18. But putting most of your points in dex will get you the best. But it's in the same class of weapon, actually, as the lance. And if we use two together, sure enough, we can power stance it. So, they're in the same family. Okay. Kind of wanted to do something goofy like this and see how it worked. I'm not really one for great shields. I could probably use a bigger great shield, actually. Yeah, I can. I think we're done over here. I heard somebody approaching me, one of the foot soldiers in the area. Alright, so we're going to head to a cave nearby. And it's not a long dungeon, so we should be able to complete it in a reasonable amount of time. Can I use... Yeah, we have lots of carry weight thanks to the Godric rune, honestly, and the Great Jar's arsenal. We have and we're wearing fairly lightweight armor thanks to our chest piece and headpiece, but I feel like we're able to wield way more than we normally would be able to. So we have this hidden cave here. It's not much to look at yet, but here we are. Oh, I do love having that as a light source. And the shield gives you resistance to darn everything in terms of skull. Status effects. So, it'll be a good shield for this dungeon. Because it's a poison dungeon. Wow. There's almost nothing worth looting down there, and giant flowers that take ages to kill. I thought he was gonna hit. So we gotta come down here. Is that crystal cave moss? Don't mind if I do. Come on. Finish falling, darn it. Did I get them both? I got them both. What don't you know? Oh, that's a grab. I should have seen that coming. She yelled in my ear, though, which is kind of funny for an attack. Ooh, we do not want to die here. I need a weapon that has overhead attacks. I didn't mean to drink that. Oh well, let's go fast so that they last. I meant to eat one of these. There you go. Serpent arrows, large golden runes, and the sage set. So we will take a look at that really fast. First, the set. Burgundy pointed hood, attire of the wise sages who were deemed heretical, evidence that the wearer was driven from town. And I think all the parts of the set say that. Yep. So, interesting that they are seen as wise and but still heretical. All the same. Funny that. So yeah, there's like nothing in this gully area. I don't recommend going down there. The money's not worth the kills. Ooh. That step forward narrowly made us avoid that poison bolt in the air there. 5-hole glowstones. Don't mind if I do. Oh, come on. There we go. Cast Starlight again, and we will continue on our merry way. That running heavy is really good. It takes like 6 steps forward or some nonsense. You gonna poke? There, you're gonna shove. I want to see if he'll poke. There we go. The shield does a very good job for that. Nice, okay. We'll cure this one more time. Drink a tasty flask. And we still have that going. That is a grab attack. Oh, shucks. Well, I'm showing it off. And this is our first time seeing Scarlet Rot, which effectively times the fight. Oh, no. Grabbed again. Oh, well. And thrown into the muck. But we have time. We can heal. There we go. And it's Clean Rot Knight. And they dropped the Winged Sword Insignia, so now we know what Melania's knights look like. They're very different from the other knights we've seen, because we've seen Godric knights, Cuckoo knights, and even a single lone Lanedale knight wandering the world. Okay, so let's take a look at that talisman. It's a very good talisman. I recommend it. Talisman depicting a raised prosthetic blade, like Melania in the intro cinematic. Or, sorry, the story Yeah, the story cinematic before the game released. An honor bestowed upon the knights who fought alongside Malenia the Severed. So she had a prosthetic arm. Another name that we only see once here is Malenia the Severed. And I do not want to die to the rot, so we will be chugging potions while we read. Raises attack power with successive attacks. The wings symbolize Malenia and her undefeated prowess. Though she never knew relief from the accursed rot she was born into, her blade was forever beautiful and relentless. So there we are. That is Stillwater Cave. We learn a little bit about heretics and their tie-in with Malenia, which, though it doesn't look like much now, we will see those elements come into the storytelling again in the near future. We have a little bit of time still. I thought that dungeon was going to take a smidge longer, but I think we can keep going. Its polearm features a hard sharpened beak-like attached to its head. Spike attached to its head, designed to pierce armor. Though designed mainly as a thrusting weapon, its long handle can be utilized to get around an enemy's guard with a sideward sweeping attack. So I put it in the wrong hand, didn't I? Boo on me. Alright, here we are. This is Lucerne. Has the overhead halberd attack pattern. Does 40% of its damage through shields, I believe. I think it's 40%. I was talking about the Banished Knight and the Knight's Sword's attack pattern, where if you angle it on the left side of your body with the end of the first attack and the start of the next attack, it will combo on certain players. This weapon also has that, but it's with the second and third attack. So after the first, if you hit somebody with the second and then turn for the third, it'll also clip them. It's like a cheaper podunk version of the same thing, which is very funny to me. Okay. Alright, we don't have too much time, but I want to get to over here, I believe. We'll take the scenic route, because there might be something worth grabbing on the way that I just am not remembering. So we've already gone to these little ruins here in this gazebo. That's where we fought the Revenant and the mini Revenants. Revenants are the weird multi-armed creatures that don't seem to be grafted, but they also have lots of arms. And, well, you've already seen that they're weak to healing for some large and unexplained reasons, so they are cursed in some capacity. Here we have a demi-human chieftain. Oh no! There you go. But I've slain your chieftain. Shouldn't you freak out now? Maybe not. Probably didn't need to critical hit this little guy. That seems a little silly. It's kind of nice having Colossal Sword in one hand and Dagger in the other. I feel like it shores up your weaknesses. Some people do the same thing with like an S-Talk or a curved sword because they're all fast. Heck, I'm starting to see in the meta, if you could call it that, for what people are getting and doing. Some people are sticking like a Zweihander in their right hand and a Claymore in their left hand. So apparently one of the attacks from the Zweihander can combo into the neutral of the Claymore. So Zweihander into Claymore. I've seen people put Great Hammers in their offhand as well, or curved great swords. I'm not wholly familiar with all the different combos that go on there, but there's some crazy combos where people have very mismatched weapons. And here we have Patches. So let's talk to him really fast before the end of our episode.
Oh, well. It's been a long while. It's me, Patches the Untethered. I'm still in business, if you can believe it. Now I'm my only supplier, so I haven't got much. But everything here is top-notch. Patches Emporium, now open in Rea Lucaria.
So let's see what he has to sell us. He may have gotten more great arrows. He might be selling an extra weapon. I think he sold the Parrying Dagger initially. I think he has an S-Talk now, which is funny because this is the second S-Talk we can buy. which means that if you start as the prisoner, you could get 3 S-Talks in a single playthrough, which is kind of neat. He also no longer sells limited fan daggers, but unlimited fan daggers, so we might actually grab a healthy amount of those, because they are nice to have, even if you don't have dex or strength.
Cheers for that.
They're very nice because you can use them to finish people off, so I am all for that idea. And I'll keep the magic knives just because they hit hard, so if I need a little more damage, that'll be there. And we'll have the other pots. There we go. Alright, that's tidy. Alright, let's talk to him a little more.
No.
Alright, let's see what he has. Let's talk to him.
You're making your way to the Erd Tree, no? Well, I heard something that might help. A special means of reaching your destination. Have you ever seen an Iron Virgin? The clunky contraptions are whirlwinds of sickles and spiked wheels. But long ago, they were endowed with a spell of transposition. And get this, a surviving virgin sits at the bottom of the big water wheel in the Academy of Rhea Lucaria. Its transpositional powers fully intact. So right, if you get caught in it on purpose, it'll chuck you out straight at the base of the Erd Tree. Or so I'm told.
So it seems spooky, because we've seen one of those before. It was the big metal contraction with a woman's statue essentially at the top of it that we saw in Carria Manor, and I think that one had big old guillotine blades that it would spin around with, right? Very spooky enemy. Weak to lightning, though, because it's made of metal. Bunch of metal-looking snakes in the middle of it can grab you with. And if it kills you with the grab attack, or at least the one he's referring to in the bottom of the Rhea Lucaria Academy, he says it'll bring us to the foot of the Erd Tree. But knowing Patches, it might bring us somewhere, but it's probably not the foot of the Erd Tree, since that's our goal. So, what he spoke of before.
Great story, isn't it? I'll tell you as many times as you like. There's a surviving iron eye.
So he'll keep telling us about it, just so anytime a character repeats dialogue and keeps it there, that usually means that it's important, that they want you to hear it again until you figure it out. It's a sort of puzzle, right? Or they want you to fall for the trap. The only other time that I think we've seen this thus far is Muriel will keep telling us about the skeleton in Radigan's closet concerning a particular statue in Lane Dell. And both of those seem a little ways off, so... And speaking of, this is a different dialogue prompt with him.
By the way, have you met that girl, Raya? She's a strange one, but I believe she was in need of help. Not that it's any of my business, but if she rings your bell, why not lend her an ear?
So he says there's a girl named Rhea who needs our help. But that's where we will end the episode for now. So we'll actually go meet that Rhea, and we'll defeat a nighttime boss that's nearby, amongst other things. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you have a good one. I'll see you next time for episode 46, I believe. Bye-bye now.